Welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show on this January 21st show.
Hey, what's today?
January 21st. It's the first day that the Buckeyes haven't been national champs in about 364 days. Last year, the game was on the 21st or 20th. Wait, what is today? 20th?
Today's the 20th.
Yeah, sorry. Last year, the game was on the 20th. This year was on the 19th. So 364 days, the Buckeyes reigned as champs. That was going to end last night, and it ultimately did, with Indiana taking down Miami in what was an absolutely an epic game, an epic finish. Schlegs, it looked like the Hoosiers had multiple chances to pull away. Alas, they didn't, and I give a lot of credit to the Miami Hurricanes for continuing to battle and play really stinking hard in that game. And, man, it was that was the perfect capping to the college football playoff. If you ask me, I don't think you could have asked for a better ending.
Bob, you couldn't have asked for a better ending. I mean, it had everything that you wanted. And if you think about it, minus that block punt, I mean, it's 21-20.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so Miami played a heck of a football game. It was competitive. That going back to ours, right? That 3 points going into that half sets you back. I mean, that, especially with Indiana getting the ball to come out in the second half. But then that second half, players made adjustments, coaches made adjustments, and it was just back and forth. Like, all right, you scored, I'm going to go score. You scored, we're going to do something. It was a fantastic, finish to the college football playoff season, the college football season. You asked how I like to enjoy the game. It's cold in Central Ohio. So I went over to Nutter Hardware, bought a couple of things of wood, had a fire, went through about $30 worth of wood during that thing. And it was fantastic, taking some notes and excited to talk about it.
It was a lot of fun. Why didn't you go down? You should have just bring some wood up from the farm next time. I mean, you've got a lot.
No crap. I just got this going. And I haven't had time to make the round trip because I got a lot of wood already split. But I will. Splitting wood's one of my favorite things. So I will. I will have a lot of wood now that I got it rolling, Bob. There's a process.
There is. And the process of that game, low-scoring first half, high-scoring second half. And it seemed like almost every second-half drive there was a score. That Indiana defense looked just dominant in the first half, Schlegs. Their ability to stop third and shorts,
yes,
even fourth and shorts, even when they converted, Miami converted. I mean, they're not giving you anything. And what's amazing is we don't talk about this team, Indiana team, like as a big physical team. They run the ball really stinking well, but dude, they were unbelievable on third down, and especially in those third and short situations. Miami couldn't be a drop, man. And even in the second half, they struggled. They did convert on the 1/4, but it was by about half the football. It wasn't like they picked that thing up easy. And they were stroking that Indiana front seven. I think the big concern for me, it was a concern for me against Indiana with every team they play because they're not all that big up front, but they move really well. They stunt really well, and they get penetration and they tackle. But I thought, hey, if people can lean on them, that'll be rough.
Yeah.
If you can keep them on the field, if you can slow down some of their penetration, and if you can eliminate or just keep a guy on a guy and give your running back somewhere to go instead of having free runners, you can maybe lean on them. And Miami has a big physical offensive line. So my wife goes, how big is that number 70?
Yeah, big.
She, of course, that guy is huge. I'm like, yeah, he's probably all 6'7",
pounds.
Yeah, 350 plus. He's a monster. Miami's really good up front. They're very physical. Mario Cristobal is an ex-offensive lineman. That's what he wants to see. That's what he wants the team to be built. They were built like that. And they pound the football with Fletch. I mean, in the second half, man, 110 yards, but they would just keep working and they'd have some little, breakouts there and getting some open space. I thought the two guys that had to play well for Miami, Malachi Tony and Fletcher, both did. Tony had some big plays. Fletcher was a hammer and then also had some pops. But those guys kept him in it. And relatively clean game. One turnover.
Yep.
And it ultimately cost them the game.
Yep. Going down there, really good defense. I mean, the secondary, very disciplined defense by Indiana. And if you go back and look at the tail of the tape of the first half, it was Miami's inability on third down, which started with what, Bob? Being able to run the football, but then being able to play really good third and short football. And again, that weight difference, like how would they hold up? They just build a wall. Like they're very disciplined in what they do. They'll bring an outside backer, Sam or Will, however they had them lined up off the edge to like set the edge. And they did a really, really nice job. But 0-6 on third down for Miami in the first half. And Indiana doing what they do, sustaining long drives, converting on third downs, 4 of 7 in the first half. That really just kept going into the second half. So when at the end of the day, when you have the ball for 36 minutes, you win the turnover margin 1-0, you have a chance to succeed. And Miami had to throw the football, but it was not really deep shots. It was more run after the catch-esque. And then when they did have to push the ball down the field, that's when the interception happened. And there were some big plays like that. Tight end had a big third down conversion. He plays really hard for Miami, like him. But Indiana did what they had to do to win the game. And the turning point of that, Bob, we talk about it, whether it's a pick six or that unexpected thing that happened in the turnover battle, right? Or flipping the field or whatever. That was the block punt. That was the block punt and the field goal going in at halftime, this field goal going in at halftime were really two of the deciding factors of this football game. Because if not, it looks a lot different.
Yeah, that missed field goal, because you lose all the momentum.
And you had it. You drove down there.
Yeah. It's the same thing happened to Ohio State when they played Indiana. You missed that field, or was it Miami? No, Miami.
And think about it. It was 9 plays, 43 yards, 5.5 and change minutes to go down there. I think there was 38 seconds, 30-something seconds left on the game clock when they kick it. And now, it's 10-3. We know that Indiana gets the ball back, right? And then, boom, what happens? They come out. They only move it 6 yards. They had that penalty, that face mask. It was going to be a 3-and-out, but they still got off the field defensively. And then Miami goes down and scores. You're like, holy crap, it's a ball game. If you only had that, it'd be 10-10. Right? Mm-hmm. Completely different dynamic psyche-wise for a football team.
Very similar to Ohio State. If
100%.
you get that field goal before half, like all of a sudden it changes the paradigm of it. And you're just confident. So when it's tied, you feel a lot better about it. And that can change the whole outcome of the game. Were you surprised, Schleiss? Because it was 10-0. Indiana, they get the missed field goal out of Miami. You're coming back out at half. And I'm thinking Indiana is going to come in. They're going to have some adjustments. Whatever they're doing, Kurt Signetti, really smart. They're going to run downhill. They're going to do a score, and it's going to be 17-0, and this is going to be a rout. Were you surprised that Indiana went 3-and-out and looked fairly disheveled in doing so?
No, because Mesidor and Payne and what they can do up front, and they got them behind the sticks. And they were third and long and had the personal foul face mask. They got them a first down, right? So, you eliminate that, and you now have them backed up. Again, all that matters because of field position, everybody. That's the hidden yardage that we talk about. So, boom, they get another set of downs. Take off more time off the clock, right? So it could have been 1 minute. Now it's 3 minutes. All of that matters in the course of a football game. Did it surprise me that Indiana would do that? No, because Miami is a really good defensive football team. And they came out understanding what they had to do. You know how it is, Bob, when you have unfamiliar conferences and you get in the flow of the game, especially defensively, it builds up that confidence. And I think they had it up front. And then it was the next one. And that's what was really the turning point, was the 2 plays and the 57-yard run by Fletcher. It's holy smokes, it's 10-7. You know what I mean? Miami's back in this. And then what do? They go out and they force a punt. Now Miami goes 3-and-out punt. Defense goes right back out there, another 3-and-out. And then they score a touchdown, 4 plays, right? Boom. That's what happens.
The block punt changed it all.
Yep.
Because we talk a lot about turnover, Schleiss, and how those impact the game.
Because now it's 17-7.
Yes.
Now it's 7. You were 7-10, and now all of a sudden you're back to a 2-score game. And that, just so you know, everybody, when you're thinking about this game, I always tell people this, man, in good on good competitive excellence, right? Whether you're male, female, doesn't matter. You have to go take it. Somebody has to rise up and take it from the other team, because they're not just going to give it to you. And that right there boom, you put it back in a 2-score game. And then Kurt Scanetti later in the game, it's like, man, we got to go take this. And they did. Go to your question.
Well, anytime you have turnovers are huge, but when you get those return touchdowns, whether it's a kickoff return, punt return, interception, fumble, or a blocked punt, like those are huge boomerangs that are tough to overcome. I missed the block punt initially. Indiana forced the punt. I was walking upstairs. I was going to change and go do some stuff. I turned the TV back on, and Courtney, is it 17-7? Like, did Indiana score? I'm like, well, they must have. It was just 17-10. I don't know how Miami has the ball back already, though. And then, they go to the vignette as they're going to a commercial, and you see the block. I'm like, okay, there we go. And how much that changed the dynamic, because you said going and taking it when you're only a score down, that's one play away.
Yep.
And so you feel like, and there's a certain anxiety on defense where, hey, you miss a tackle on the back end, that thing's gone. You have a guy like Malachi Toney or a running back like Jamar Fletcher, is a big physical dude who can get downhill on you in a hurry, or Mark Fletcher, rather, sorry. They can get downhill in a hurry. And those guys, they can rip off runs. So when you're only up 3 or even 6, 7 at least ties it. But there's always an anxiety that if you miss that tackle, you blow a gap, like you're in trouble. In Miami, I think more so in this game than any other, and especially in that second half, I think you saw it. Like, this Indiana defense is well coached. They tackle well. They run well. They execute all of their scheme to perfection. But you get them out in space a little bit, there is some athletic deficiency from some of the guys. And you saw that a little bit in the second half when you got Malachi Toney in space, you started getting CJ Daniels in space, and there was some plays to be had. Now, not that Indiana, they tightened it up and they did a good job. And listen, Pons is amazing. D'Angelo Pons, their corner, I mean, he's not very big, but he's good. He is a top first, second round NFL corner. From watching him tackle to play coverage, like, he does it all pretty well. Because those dudes at Miami are athletes.
Yep.
They can move. They're NFL caliber players. So he's in there. But there's some deficiencies in that. And so you needed that second score. You needed that buffer to always feel like you're up 10 Schlegs, because you saw Miami could rip it at any point in time. Yeah, they could run it downhill on you and slowly grind you, which is what they did. But there was always Malachi Toney on the jet sweep, or a screen, or Fletch just popping one. And those are things that could really happen. And so you needed that buffer. And that's what that block punt gave you. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. Schlegs has a point. Points with Schlegs. Don't know how many more of these points we're going to get, so we're going to embrace them, and we're going to love on them here coming up. But first, how fast the NFL game days move. One big play, everything changes. That's why live betting from FanDuel is a game changer. With FanDuel, you can bet in real time while the game unfolds. Score just flipped, jump on the new spread, or ride the live money line. Wide receivers hitting up, bet the next touchdown score or total yards. Think that drive stalls out in the red zone. Take a live field goal prop or fade the total. Live player props, team totals, drive results, updated spreads, next play markets. It's all there. It's fast. It's fun. And with FanDuel, your live bets move as quickly as the game does. So whether you ride the momentum or fade the hype, FanDuel puts you right in the middle of every moment. Visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to download the app and bet the NFL all season long. Must be 21 older and present in Ohio, 21 older and present in Pennsylvania. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. More of the Bobby Carpenter Show. And Schlegs' big point coming up next. I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer. Back in here breaking down what was a phenomenal national championship game. A team that Ohio State basically, I know Miami ended up being 10, but they conceded that last touchdown. I mean, those are both one possession games that the Buckeyes lost to each of those teams. And we'll get into that. And if that makes you feel better, if that makes you feel worse, how that makes you feel. But I want to get to your 1 point, Schlegs, before you forget. So let's fire that.
I mean, we talked about how a pick six or a block punt for a touchdown or a kickoff return or a punt return, how it can totally change the dynamic. I want to say this. The resiliency of Miami to be able to give that up and then go 10 plays, 81 yards for a touchdown. I mean, you knew it was a ball game in that fourth quarter, Bob. It was every possession mattered. And they went right down and scored to a field goal. Then Indiana goes 12 plays, 75 yards, 5.5 minutes. That was the 4th and 5. That was like, all right, we got to make this a 2-possession game. Gutsy call, gutsy play by Fernando Mendoza, competitive excellence at its finest. Okay, boom. You're down by 10 again. What does Miami do? They go 91 yards this time and score and make it 24-21. The cool thing, and that's what you said, Bob, it wasn't necessarily the huge shots in that drive in particular, right? It was that 22-yard pass to the tight end. Then it was, Malachi Tony, not deep, like over the middle, broke some tackles, right? Then he had another one for the touchdown pass at 22 yards. That wasn't like a deep shot. Like that was allowing your guy to make plays in space on lesser athletes. And now you're back to, 24-21. The resiliency and what we love about college football and the ebbs and flows of that game, that's what it was all about. So kudos to both sides matching it, because we saw that even in the Ole Miss game with Miami. It was that fourth quarter was a banger, and guess what? It held true in the national championship game.
So it's almost like a tale of two halves.
It really was. 10-0 to then they scored, what's that, 21 and 17, 38 points in the second half.
So if you look at the possessions, Miami opens, punt, Indiana, punt, Miami, punt, Indiana, 12 plays, 6 minutes, field goal, Miami, punt, Indiana, punt, Miami, punt. But then Indiana, 14 plays, 85 yards. They're able to cap it off, touchdown. Miami, 9 plays, 43 yards, almost 6 minutes, missed the field goal before the end of the half. So you're talking there, punts, field goals, 1 touchdown by Indiana, 1 drive that's put together. Opened up, Indiana punt, Miami, they rip off that long run by Fletcher. Indiana punt, Miami punt, Indiana punt, Miami punt, blocked. And that's when the floodgates open. It was really almost a story of 3 quarters and a half.
Yeah.
Miami had 1 big play, Indiana drive and a touchdown. Then you have the block punt, and then it's Miami touchdown, Indiana touchdown, Miami touchdown, Indiana field goal, interception, end of game. And so as you get the feel of what's going on in games, and this is one of the things I thought that they did a really good job of, is the final touchdown for Indiana, which I think a lot of people, when you go up 24-14 and you're looking at the time, you're like, okay, if you can get a stop, get the ball back, they're going to bleed it out. They're going to run it out on. 4th and 4, and I was almost curious that Indiana is down there on the 10-yard line, and they call a timeout on 4th and 4. And they're like, well, they're thinking about kicking a field goal. What are they going to do? And they're, you heard Herb Street and Fowler talking about, man, did they, they're uncertain, not sure what they're going to do. I'm like, listen, if you call a timeout to kick a 30-yard field goal so you don't waste 5 yards, that's the dumbest coaching decision I've ever seen. Like, go from 25 to 30 yards, or 28 to 33, whatever the heck it is. It just shouldn't impact your kicker. That's why you never call a timeout on a delay game for a punt. Like, you're punting anyway. Don't waste the timeout. So they called that timeout, and they're going for it. Indiana's in like a version of 2-man. Both safeties are deep. It's kind of like a double-double, more or less, because you're in the red zone. So the safeties aren't deep. They're really doubling on the outside or kind of hanging in the slots. They call the quarterback draw with Fernando Mendoza, who had been bloodied before, and we're going to get to that hit. I'm going to get your thoughts on it. They call the quarterback draw. Now, not only was it a great call, it's a great run by Fernando Mendoza, starting to his left, swimming over to the right, taking the hit, spinning off, diving to the end zone. Not only did he get the first down, he gets the end zone, shows his coach, hey, you should have faith in me. But Kurt Cignetti's call right there, I think, Schleiss, he could feel the fact that Miami tide was coming.
Yeah.
And if we don't score here, like, field goals aren't going to get it done. And Miami have been putting together long touchdown drives. A lot of their touchdown drives had been long, 81 yards, 91 yards, were their second, third touchdown drives in the fourth quarter. But I think Curt Cignetti felt that they had to score right there. It was a ballsy call, but I loved it.
Yeah, totally agree with you, Bob. And I mean, he talked about that they felt like they were going to play the same coverage that they played the snap before, in which they did. They put it in for this game. They blocked it a little bit different. As you look at it from the offensive perspective, the left safety really came down, filled that. That's why he went and broke to his right. The other safety was a little bit delayed on that run fit because, like you said, Bob, it's almost like a bracket, like he's inside help on that inside receiver, a little late to the party. And again, it was fourth and
Why
four.
why were they doing that, Schleiks, you think?
What's that?
They bracketed the inside guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, like they don't want to give up a quick slant
or the slot fades. They've been getting hit with those slot fades, so you let your outside corner play behind you, and that helps eliminate when you bracket it. You can't throw those in there. That's what they got Ohio State with.
Yep. So, they did that, and the guy made the play, and that's what you love about these moments, where that that guy's going to have to be a little bit deeper. They're playing the same coverage. They blocked up a little different. Mendoza ran it and ultimately scored. And really what they're looking at is, hey, if we get a first down, we're going to chew up another 2 minutes of this clock by running the football and doing what we got to do, but we got to punch it in. But to your point, Bob, they really did need to score. And I feel like part of the one things that Curt Cignetti has had this season is he knows when he has to go win the game. And that was the deciding moment. He's like, I'm going to win this game. Like we got to go back up by 2 scores because it completely changes the dynamic of what goes on. And then guess what, Bob? Kudos to Miami. You just gave that up and you go down and score 91 yards later to go to 24-20. I mean, after that emotion of that 4th and 4, they get a touchdown. They're up by 10. Miami goes straight down 91 yards and scores a touchdown. But then Indiana had to come back and 11 plays, and they kick a field goal to go up 6. And you're like, all right, cool. Miami has a shot here. And they moved it down fairly quickly to get into, on their side of the 50, and then they end up throwing the interception ball game. But that's the ebbs and flows. Like they put themselves in an opportunity to have a chance to win the football game, and ultimately Indiana did everything that they needed to do to take it and win their first national championship.
I thought that answer was Beck's best drive of the game. Started out with an 8-yard pass, had a 3-yard run, couple incompletions, got a penalty. They're sitting there at 3rd and 15. He bangs that 22-yarder, man. Like that was huge to the tight end, number 87.
Yep.
Big time ball. Then they've got the 47-yard pass to Tony on the catch and run with what he's able to do, and then the 22-yard pass to Tony on the catch and run. But he kept that drive alive on a 3rd and 15. I thought the game was over right there. You had just given up another touchdown. You're down 10 points. You have a 3rd and 15. And that's why I give Carson Beck a lot of credit for in this game is the fact that Schleig's like, that's some stuff. That's some guts that I don't know if we had truly seen out of him to that degree. And so he was able to step up, come through it in a big way, and keep his team back in the game. Because at that point, it felt like you were just trying to match scores.
Yep.
And they had to keep pace. You could not give the ball back. And even if they get a field goal, then you're down 13, and it's a 2-touchdown situation for you to take the lead. And that is a lot to overcome. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. I want to dive into maybe some of the officiating last night, kind of what your thoughts were on that, how that ultimately looks. Good, bad, and different. And maybe how you feel as a Buckeye fan watching that game. But first, a message from our friends over at Export. Parents and athletes, protect what matters most with Export mouth guards. Trusted by professional athletes, designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouth guards are scientifically tested to help absorb those high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouth guards feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including a patented use of carbon fiber that they custom print that bad boy right to your grill for more protection, better performance, max comfort, and clear communication. That way you're focusing on the game, not the gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Visit exportguards.com/Bobby today and save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. National championship game and the breakdown coming up on the Bobby Carpenter Show next. I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like
I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink garage beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage beer, beer flavored beer.
Welcome back in to the Bobby Carpenter Show. And Schleig's, the officiating.
Ooh.
Before I maybe taint your thoughts, you tell me what you thought of the game last night and the Stripes.
I thought it was a great game. And, hey, they're just letting them play like you heard a lot of those things. I mean, a couple of the hits on Mendoza, those are flags anywhere else, especially the one that was helmet that got him bloodied. But you know what, though? Here's the thing. Bob, you know, as I know, that we always had in our locker with Jim Haycock was affect the quarterback. And how do you affect the quarterback? You hit him as often and as hard as you possibly can within the rules to not put your team, in a bad position. The officials had opportunities to make those calls. They didn't make them. So you're going to keep hitting the guy. And you know what, Bob, my thing is, and I don't ever look at the officiating, honestly, because it's like you control what you can control. And one thing we said, we never want to put it in the hands of the ref, And so were there PI calls that were missed? Sure. Were there holding calls that have been missed all year? Absolutely. Was there a couple of personal fouls or maybe even a targeting that was missed? Yeah. But
that's my problem. I can handle hitting Carson back. And honestly, Fernando Mendoza. They got pressure on him. And like a lot of those hits, I didn't think were bad. I thought they were pretty clean. I mean, you're hitting guys low sometimes, but that's not against the rule in college. And some of the times you're getting blocked in there. And I'll always give some sympathy to the defensive guys. You know that. But what I was amazed with was the play where he drew out the fake in the first half.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with you pushing him in the chest. I don't have a problem with you shoulder him in the chest. The way that they call targeting now, Schleiks, and how prolific it is and how punitive it is.
Yeah.
That guy's off the field and you get 15 yards. And for him to go up old school style, Schleiks, and just basically headbutt him in the mouth.
Yeah.
And they didn't catch it. And then the fouls, it looks like it maybe couldn't even be targeting. Could be. He didn't even have the ball in his hand. I have no problem with shoulder shove, knock him down, whatever. But for you basically just to pop him in the mouth on a guy who's standing still or jogging at you slowly, it wasn't a moving target. That was your goal and your destination. They got it done. And maybe awoken Fernando a little bit more, stirred him up a little bit and got him going. But I couldn't believe that.
Loves the taste of his own blood. And sometimes that's all you need, right? This little wake-up shot. But it was the crown of the helmet. It was launching. It was into his face. Wasn't quote unquote helmet to helmet like that, but it was into his face mask up on the rise. Probably should have been called. But then now you already had a starting defensive back in Xavier, who's out the first half from targeting previously. That would have totally thrown a wrench into Miami what they wanted to do in the first half. But hey, ultimately you just got to go play the game the way it's being called that day. So that's how I always look at it. I don't ever make a big stink about it. I don't got time for that.
Well, and also, I don't have time for that. Well, I have no problem letting them play on the outside. So I thought that was pretty good. The hand fighting, was going back and forth. I didn't think it was a big deal, especially when there's back shorter fades. The receiver a lot of times initiates the contact. The 1 3rd and 15, though, where he's running free and they have a chance to kind of seal the game.
Yeah.
And Mendoza puts it a little bit wide. I think he thought the free safety was going to be there.
Yes.
I believe the pass was to Omar Cooper Jr. They were trying to work him there in that little slot fade. And he had him, and he threw him inside. Cooper didn't pick it up fast enough. But one of the other things, when you have a guy just openly grab the back of a guy's jersey while he's running, that to me, that's not gamesmanship. That's not being handsy. That's just nonsense. And that the officials have to be better than that when you see that stuff happening, because that's not bang, bang. That's not in the moment. That's a guy literally pulling somebody down from behind.
Well, let's go back, though, Bob. What do the officials do? They're retired athletic directors and coaches. You know what I mean? It's not like they're full-time jobs. Same thing in the NFL. The easiest thing to do if we want better officiating is make them full-time employees. You know what I mean? Make there be a standard. Make it be to where, Like, these are the rules. This is all you do is referee games, right? Because they got other things that they're doing. Yeah, they know the rules, and then they're going out there and calling. And I mean, honestly, the worst volunteer job I ever had
Let's hear it.
was it was a, like, I don't know if it was T-ball or coach pitch, Koibel championship game. And of course, what do the parents say? Oh, hey, Schlegs, you go be the ump. I had skin in the game. I had a kid there, but it's like, you're at Ohio State, like, you're not going to call, you're going to be indifferent, right, to size. I'm like, yeah, 100%. I'm going to be real. And then you got your own parents like yelling. I'm like, dude, he was safe. I'm just standing right there. Like, he was safe. Other team, like, he's leaving the bag early. Like, no, he's not. But I mean, like, terrible, the worst. I would never want anybody in that position. As a matter of fact, when I see a parent that has to run out there, I'm like, oh man, that's a terrible gig. Honestly, not quite as bad as the strength coach that has to do special teams and that's not in the meetings, but it's like a 1B, because then follow that is the get back coach. So 1A, strength coach that has to do special team substitution, 1A, get back coach, 1B, little league referee of any kind, of any
I
sport.
don't think they have get back coaches anymore, Schlegs.
Oh, they're. Yeah, they are.
No one wants to claim to be the get back coach anymore.
I know, because it's the worst title. Oh, you're that guy that gets them back. Like, I also maximize their genetic potential and allow them to get prepared every single week. But sure, I am that guy on that day for those 3 hours, which is terrible.
Yeah, well, because they need somebody that they can lean into. That's
why you still train, Bob, right? That's why you still train.
Exactly. Someone that they respect.
Yeah.
You don't respect
you ain't playing. Get back.
Yeah. Get back.
Oh, right. Terrible. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Bob, the quick fix is this. ACC, SEC, Big Ten, have your crews, make them employees, get better at officiating, understand the rules better. I honestly like how the ACC does their officiating, where it's completely transparent. Everybody can hear what's going on behind the scenes and all the communication that goes in into why they made a call. I think it eliminates a lot of the guesswork as to what people are thinking.
Absolutely. I love it, Schlegs. It's good stuff. And that was a Big 12 crew last night, so hopefully them as well. But what we need to get into is our stuff over at Backer, our friends. They're great gear. It looks good. It feels good. They've got the Buckeye jackets and coats that you want.
The puffer jacket's really nice, Bob. My son took it out of the closet, was wearing it today.
Really?
Yeah. Sam's like, I'm like, where's your jacket? Man, it's 5 degrees. He's like, I'm wearing this one. He's like, this is warm. I'm like, all right, cool.
There you go. It looks good. It feels good. It's got all the features and functions you want. Schlegs will get it stolen from him by his kid because it's so good. So go check it out. You'll love the Backer gear just like we do. It's fantastic. It's bckr.com, bckr.com. If you use promo code all caps Bobby at checkout, get an additional 10% off. That's Backer, bckr.com. Coming up next, we got our headlines.
Ooh.
Big news. Ohio State getting some stuff done as well, maybe bringing home a title. And a former Buckeye coach might be landing a gig in the NFL. We'll talk about that next. Bobby Carpenter Show.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Welcome in the Bobby Carpenter Show. And Schlegs, saw you highlight this. Didn't get a chance to get to it yesterday, but want to give a little bit of love to the Bucks Spirit Squad. Back to back is named the Division 1A Spirit Squad Game Day National Champions as well. You got Brutus in the mix over there. The Spirit Squad, Schlegs, bringing the spirit.
We got spirit. Yes, we do. We got spirit. How about you? Right? Like, awesome. Hey, man. People winning championships at Ohio State. Always good to recognize them.
You were never at Ohio State with Jeff Hafley, were you? No, because you left in 2015.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he didn't come until later. He was Ryan.
I mean,
Ryan
like,
brought him in after
yeah.
They moved on from Kerry Combs. So that would have been 20.
I mean, obviously, you and I are in the building, so we know him.
Yeah, 2020, 2021. Great dude. Great dude. Landed the Dolphins job. Big congrats to him. He was at Boston College as the head coach there. He left Ohio State.
Left Ohio State, went to Boston
for 4
College.
years. He had, I think, a 22-26 record overall. You know, had a lot of seasons, 4 or 5-7, 7-5. I think he had like a 4-8 in there, 3-9, and then finished up again. And then you know what? Said, I'm going to go to Green Bay and be the D coordinator there.
Yep.
And ultimately, with him being the D coordinator, it led him to this job with the Miami Dolphins. Excited to see how it ultimately works out for him.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the Packers play great defense. Miami, I kind of prefer a defensive-minded coach. Just how they like complimentary football-esque. And then I'm, again, somebody that worked at Ohio State, somebody that you and I both know, somebody with whom that I've had a lot of people that I know work for, excited for this opportunity for him.
Do you think it was a demotion when he went? Like, people question the career paths of guys. He was at BC, where Bill O'Brien's at now, and they've struggled. Going from being a head college football coach at maybe a program like that to a D coordinator in the NFL, you're not running your own shop, but you don't have a lot of the college problems anymore. Do you view that as a demotion, or do you think that was the path that he needed to take to get this?
I think it's actually, from a monetary standpoint, your could or could not make the same, right? It's like a little bit different. Because coordinators in the NFL are paid very, very well. I think it's more of a determining factor. What do you enjoy doing, Bob? Like, that's kind of the thing, right? Do you enjoy the college aspect? And we've seen even from Matty P, like what he loves to do with the guys. But ultimately, what are things that you struggle with in the college level? It's the recruiting. It's the NIL. It's all those other things that you don't necessarily get in the NFL. In the NFL, there's contracts. My job is to go put whoever we have on our roster or on my offense, defense, special teams in the best position to be successful because their contracts are handled by the GM and that department. So my job is to make sure that we have the right players, and yes, to communicate that with the scouts and everything, but it's also to design a scheme that allows them to be at their best. So it is really different. It's what is the lifestyle? I will say, over the last 3 years, there used to be more stability and, a little bit more length to be able to, in the NFL, to be able to like kind of move the needle, change over. There's a little bit more grace than there was in college football. College football now is turn and burn. NFL now is turn and burn. So they've all kind of matched that. Regardless, you still got to go win. So I just think it's more of what is it that you want to do. And when he figured out like, hey man, coaching in college, like I like it, but I actually just only want to do ball. That's why Chip Kelly left the head coaching job at UCLA to come to Ohio State. Like, I just want to go coach ball. Like, that's where my joy is. So I'm going to go do that. Hafley, hey, I'm the head coach. You know what? I just want to do ball. I'm going to go to the NFL and be a coordinator.
There you
That's
go.
how I look at it.
Just ball, dog. That's what they say in the NFL. Go out there and play, and that's all you got to deal with. Jeff Hafley, new head coach of the Miami Dolphins. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We got our tailgate talk. We have some of your questions and comments about the game, thoughts going into it, all coming up next.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
It's interesting, Schlegs, as we welcome into our tailgate talk here, like just looking through some of the comments on our shows, seemed like there was more of a pro Indiana flavor. There was a couple of people in there.
What did AJ say? Did you text him? Like, what was the deal?
What do you mean? What was the deal?
Like what was the split of the stadium?
I think it was 50-50 to 60-40 Indiana. But it was loud. Like you could hear it. It was loud for both. Everything that I had been told and saw, it was Indiana-ish, but not by much. Like you could probably feel like a little bit more, but those fans for Miami, they were so loud that kind of changed the math on it a little bit. TE 2013 said 4 days ago on one of our comments for our show, Schleichs, last week, Indiana's small defensive line has helped produce 16 TFLs and 6 sacks in the 2 playoff games so far. Feel like they can force Beck into mistakes. He didn't throw any picks, but they did get him. They did sack. I think they had a couple sacks. They were 3 of 13 on third down, which I think is the bigger thing. He got rid of the football, but they were not good.
Yeah, third down was what happened. I mean, and here's the deal, too. Like, Messidor had 2 sacks. Bain had a sack, right? So, you know, the guys that you thought were going to be able to make plays on Mendoza, they made plays, right? They were good in the run. You know, the biggest thing that Indiana does is they might stunt move their guys because they have to because they're a little bit smaller, but they're also very quick, but they're still able to build the wall. That's what they do well. Like they might move, but they also maintain their gap integrity and don't just get thrown out the club, which when you have a really big offensive line like Miami does, you would think with somebody that's moving, like that's what they're going to do. They're just going to create those enormous scenes, and that they weren't. Yeah, granted, they gave up the 57-yarder, right? That happens sometimes, good on good. But for the most part, they held up really, really strong at the point of attack. And you really, honestly, like my wife was asking me, what is, you know, toughness in the trenches and like, what does that mean? I would say for the entire game, it was basically a draw. Like both sides were just competing at the line of scrimmage. And it was the athleticism of Tony in that game and the athleticism of Mendoza and utilizing his wide receivers on that side, that was the game. And then Indiana being able to effectively run the football. I will tell you this. I think Ohio State is at their best when they are gap, when they are B block, when they are moving to go to the second level, because those Indiana running backs are going downhill and downhill in a hurry. That's hard when you're a linebacker and you know, because we know this, Bob. It's like, all right, boom. His shoulders are square. My shoulders are square. I got to go downhill. I got to take that double team off that guy so he doesn't get displaced. He has the A gap. I got the B gap. Boom. Contact on contact at the line of scrimmage. Because if I don't, and I'm 3 yards deep, that's where the seams happen.
We're going to take a quick break, Shakes. We come back. Your side nuggets and parting thoughts as we wrap up the show.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
All right, Schleichs, you got about a minute. Let's hit it.
Put this up there. I saw this. Will Compton put it out there. But, hey, Bob, I'm going to ask you this, okay? So the defense, they're talking about the Houston Texans, and when I heard this live, I just started laughing. And it was, we have this thing called White Boy Wednesdays in the weight room where they play rock music, and that is a thing. And Will was like, oh, yeah, you know that you have a really good culture when that happens because we also call it the Oreo mix, right, when there's more rap than rock. But Bob, what he said was there was a song in there. He's like, I don't even know what the name of it is, but there's a part that says, in the end, it doesn't even matter. Do you know that song, Bob?
Yeah, it's by Linkin Park, John Simon. I think it's called In the End, and it's by Linkin
called
Park.
In the End.
Yeah, John Simon loves that song. So
I love that song. Mick loves that song. Play it on repeat. Yeah. It's good. Love
Absolutely. It's all good, Schleichs. It's all for you. We appreciate you, sir. We're enjoying our time with you. Hopefully we get some more here coming up. That's it for this edition of the Bobby Carpenter Show.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool and it doesn't taste like I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink garage beer. It's American and so can you.